would walk you through all of the questions that I ask myself at the end of each week and prepare for the next week. And if you currently don't do a practice like this, I thought it would be a good opportunity to prompt you with thoughts or ideas that will help you go into Monday feeling strong. And if you've ever thought about getting the full focus planner, so far so good. I kind of bought into it. After a week of using it, I went ahead and ordered 3 more of them that will bring me through the end of this year. But I think doing this Sunday ritual of reflection and ensuring that I'm feeling centered going into the new week has been my favorite aspect of using it. So let's go through this together. If you are doing this with me in real time, all you need is paper and a pen or your computer, wherever you feel like writing. So I'll give you a little visual of what it looks like before I fill it out. I will do a full review of the full focus planner, but I want to wait until the end of the quarter. I feel like I need until the end of the quarter to give you a really good, honest assessment as to how I think using this planner has helped me achieve my goals, which is the main reason that I purchased it to begin with. But for now, let's just talk about the weekly preview. This is what it looks like. It is 2 pages, or it's 2 spreads. I'm gonna fill in today's date. And the first step is to list your biggest wins. And you can list 3 to 5 major accomplishments from the last week. Step 2 is called the after action review, and it has you refer to your last weekly big 3, which is something that it's the last step in this process. So it's asking you, how far did you get? So last week I had assigned myself 3 tasks that I wanted to complete by the end of this week. So in this step 2, you're gonna write all 3 of those down and then write the percentage of how much you completed it. And this is my favorite part of doing this entire weekly preview, to answer these 2 questions. And we're still in step 2 here. What worked and what didn't work? And the second question is, what will you keep, improve, start, or stop doing? I don't do any kind of journaling, so this is as close as I get to a journal, where I get really honest with myself. If I fell short, because last week when I was filling this out, for my weekly big 3, I completed 0% of 2 of my 3 and something like 50% of the other ones. So I really had a lot to reflect on as to why I didn't get those 3 things done. And it's often a lot more inner work that I have to do than, oh, I just didn't have the time to do it. Oftentimes we let ourselves think that, oh, I'm too busy, or I had too many things to do, and that, that is a truth. But if it is important enough to you and you're feeling aligned enough to be able to take action, you will get it done. So in this second question, though, what will you keep, improve, start, or stop doing? I try to give myself some encouragement here to not be judgmental as to why I may or may not have gotten that task done, but try to offer myself a different perspective so that I can give it another try in the coming week. Step 3 is called the list sweep, and it's asking us to process action items and then consider our next steps. And then they have a list of kind of their 4 classifications. So what I like to do on this step is, since at the end of every day, I automatically move over anything that I had not yet gotten done that needs to still get done to the next day. So at this point, I look back on my last day, which for me in this week was Thursday because I took Friday as a personal day. I am reviewing that list, and I'm going to transfer any of those items that have not been completed into my weekly overview, which is broken down between personal and professional. I typically don't write too much down in the personal section, and then most times I run out of room in the professional section because I get overzealous, because it ends up being a combination of what I didn't get done in the prior week and what I want to get done in the coming week. And moving on to the second spread, this is where you can write down any appointments. I use these pages for content releases, not exactly as a content planner with details about my content, but I might say something like Wednesday, YouTube release for Michelle Hickey Design, Tuesday, Film to Table podcast release, Thursday, a podcast for creatives release. And if I have any notable piece of social media content that needs to go out, if it's a sponsored piece of content or some sort of announcement, I'll often put that on this page as well. And then any personal or work-related meeting appointments will go here too. And then moving on to our last page, step 5 is where you list out that weekly big 3. So it's 3 objectives that are going to help advance your goals and projects for the week. And it's at this point in every week that I like to refer back to the front pages of my Full Focus Planner, where I have written down my main objectives and goals for the year, and then more specifically for this quarter. So all of these weekly big 3 should be in support of your bigger goals. It can be hard to keep going every week and to keep making progress when you feel like things are moving really slowly. And for me, I will share one of my big goals, because I think that I've already shared it in another video, is to get my YouTube subscribers up to 2,000. That was a goal I made at the beginning of the year, and my end date that I established for myself was the end of Q1. And at the pace things are going now, it does not look like I'm going to make that goal, but the important thing is I'm still making steady progress every week, and I do attribute that to reviewing that goal every morning, reviewing that goal again at the end of each day, and then making one of my weekly big 3 goals somehow connected to continuing to move that needle forward, even if the needle is moving slowly. And lastly, for step 6 is the self-care planner. So it asks you to brainstorm below and then schedule your rejuvenation on the daily pages. And I will be honest with you here. This is the area of the planner that I use the least, but it's also the area of my life that I feel like I have not prioritized and I'm not exactly the best at. I mean, some of these, it kind of has it broken down into 5 categories: sleep, eat, move, connect, and relax. My sleeping, I do really feel like I have under control, and I don't feel like I need to write down anything, like go to bed by a certain time or wake up or set an alarm, wake up at a certain time. I'm in a really good rhythm when it comes to that. Same with eating. I have a sweet tooth, so I'm not always the healthiest person, but for the most part, I try to incorporate greens into my diet, and I feel pretty physically healthy. So that's not an area where I feel like I want to dedicate a whole lot of my brain energy right now. And I would say the same with the move category. I do work out almost every day. We try to go for a walk every day on top of that. So I don't feel like I need to actually schedule anything. But these last 2 items, connect and relax, are areas that I need to work on, especially the relaxing part. I kind of go until I drop. Maybe because I'm sharing this with you this week, I'm gonna put myself on the hook to actually write something down. I hope that you enjoyed an overview of going through what a weekly preview looks like using the Full Focus Planner. If you're interested in checking it out, I will link to it below. I should also mention this comes from Michael Hyatt. You may recognize his name. And if you're on the fence about whether or not a planner like this would work for you and your goal setting, I recommend either listening to Michael and his daughter Megan's podcast to kind of familiarize yourself with their brand and their style, because I definitely do not think that this is for everyone, but it is in the style that appeals to me and the way that my brain works. You also may want to check out one of their books, and they just had a new book that came out at the end of January. So I will link to that book along with the book that I read by Michael Hyatt at the beginning of this year. I'm going to take my time to fill all of this out, and then we'll go ahead and make dinner, and then it's time to do some of that relaxing.